Hello, world. This is CuzTheInternet podcast. I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm Jose. Let's get into it. Okay, so the post goes, I'm not going to lie. Even when I was broke, I was loved by women. I think a lot, not all, of the men who say men are only loved unconditionally based on what they can provide haven't accepted they are just unpleasant to date. I saw that post and it reminded me of the post with Russell Wilson and Ciara where they were going to a wedding. I believe Wilson was going to officiate the wedding. And he asked the question about, was it loving himself or if you're able to love yourself? I know I'm ruining it right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he says, ask yourself a question. If you were
Would
able
you be
to
the
date
person
yourself,
that you would marry?
yeah.
Would you marry?
And if the answer is no, then you're not ready to be in a relationship to get married or whatever. And it had me thinking, like, a lot of people need to do that. Because I've seen other posts where they talk about dating for marriage and don't do that because whatever and yada, yada, yada. Why waste people's time? That's my question. Like, if your whole plan on dating is not to the end goal to be married, why are you wasting this person's time? Now, I'm not saying everybody's wasting everybody's time because some people just want to hit it, quit it, and that's fine. If that's what you guys want to do. But if you're talking to a young lady or she's talking to a young gentleman, or you understand what I'm saying, anybody's talking to anybody.
Yeah.
And if the other person is expressing they would like to be in a relationship, they want to get married, they want to do all these things, and you know you don't want to do it, why waste you and their time if you know that's not your end goal? Just let them do what they got to do. It is what it is.
Keep them moving.
Now, my question for you is, if you are, not obviously not you, because you're married.
I still have an opinion.
Exactly.
The wife said I could talk.
Well, it's okay to say you don't know if you have an opinion. That's a valid answer.
Facts. I do agree.
An idiot once said that.
You literally just said it, so clearly you're talking about yourself. Yeah, I'm on camera. I ain't gonna incriminate myself. Go ahead.
No, but if someone were to talk to a young lady, a young gentleman, whoever they prefer, and this person, you know, they want to get into a relationship, you don't want to be in a relationship. Is it okay for you to tell them you don't want to be in a relationship and continue doing what you're doing, knowing that it's not going to go any further, knowing that they want, or should you just walk away from it? This is my question for you.
All right, so I hear that question and I want to answer that question, but there was so many different parts that you brought up that I want to attack first. So the first one, what was it? Not the Russell Wilson. It was the other one that you said as opposed. What was the post?
The dude talking about basically, I'm not gonna lie, even when I was broke, I was loved by women. I think not all of men who say men are only loved unconditionally based on what they can provide haven't accepted they're just unpleasant to date.
So now let me ask you, do you believe that men are loved conditionally? Or the only way they're loved is conditionally?
Unconditionally by what they can bring to the table?
Well, yeah, so with conditions. So that's just what, if they could bring something to the table, that's the only way they'd be loved.
I don't believe that.
Okay.
I actually believe if somebody can only love you for what you can bring to the table, then they don't really love you. They love what you can do for them.
So are we talking financially, emotionally, but we're just talking financially? That's what we're saying.
Well, I guess financially.
That's what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. I get you.
Emotionally, if somebody's not there for you, but they can buy you anything in the world.
Exactly. I just wanted to clear it up because it wasn't too specific, the question. So Exactly.
Yeah.
So financially, okay. So you don't agree with that.
So yeah, no, I really
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
Because okay, you love me. You say you love me.
Mm.
There are ups and downs in relationships. Okay. So suppose now I make racks on racks on racks.
Right.
And you're like, okay, cool. You're down, you love me, okay, cool. And now suppose this month is a slow month and I'm not
Mm.
making what I was making.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me you're not gonna love me, you don't want to be with me. And then when I start making it again, that's when we're gonna be good because I can start buying you things. It's like, nah, you don't love me, you love what I can do for you. So
Okay.
no, I don't believe you
Yeah.
can love somebody conditionally or be genuinely in love with somebody conditionally.
Okay. I get you. I get you. I agree with that. I actually agree with that. And I agree with what the dude said. And I don't know about the unpleasant or pleasant, but I do see it as a cop out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? To again, a lot of times, like I guess we're saying the same thing because I was gonna say a lot of times bad behavior, but he said, you know what I mean, unpleasant to be with. So I think it's
Yeah,
the same thing we're saying because people like to say put blame on people, be like, bruh, it's not condition. It's because you said you were looking for a job and you was at another girl's house. It's not because you didn't have the
exactly.
job, bruh. You know what I mean? But it's easy to just cop that out. So again, I agree with that. I just want to get your perspective on that. Secondly, now with what Russell Wilson said about be the person that you would want to marry if you couldn't be that, then maybe you're not able to. What do you think about that statement?
I agree with that as well.
Okay.
Because if you can look inside yourself and know that you are not ready, you need to build yourself. Your foundation has cracks in it, and all types of stuff like that. Then
Mm-hmm.
why are you going to get into a relationship knowing that you're not completely ready? You
Okay.
can't fully give yourself to this person,
Mm,
and you know that you are damaged, and you know there are things that you need to work on,
mm,
and you're going to get in a relationship knowing that you have to work on yourself plus possibly be there for somebody else when you can't even be there for yourself. So how are you really going to do it? So
okay.
if you can't look at yourself and be like, you know what, I'm ready, I would be with me because I am good. I'm working on myself. I know what I need to do. And you're in that state of mind, then I believe, yeah, I believe what he said to be fact. You?
Okay. So now I don't know if where you were going at the end is where I am at, but how I took what he said was it might be different, and then you could probably just clear up where I might be mistaken. So I didn't agree with it. I was like, I don't want to be a contrarian on this topic, but I really don't agree with it. I think that you can not be the person, but wanting to be the person and be okay with moving. Like, yeah,
Sorry,
in
go
my
on, go on, go
opinion,
on.
in my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
believe you
I know.
can. I think that if like you could be, I'm just giving an example, a player, 20 million girls living that life, but you meet that one person, you're like, yo, I want to be a better man for you. You haven't changed your ways yet, but you see them and you want to be, and you plan on working to be. But that you're not there yet. So when you look in the mirror, you still see the flaws that you had and have. You haven't fully changed your life around, but you're able to want to do that for the person and be that person for them. So you're going to work towards that, but you're not there yet. Like you're not looking at the new you at that moment. You're still the same you, but you know what you want to be for that person. You get what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. I
Okay.
don't agree with that.
Oh, I think so. I think that I just want to put it this way. It's just like when, and I know it's two separate things, but just stay with me. I could be totally off. But just like when people say, I only want to have a baby when I'm ready. It's good if you're able to fully, but most of the time, you're never really going to be ready. You're never going to be ready unless you become ready, like unless you're there and you become ready. And I think the same thing with relationships. If you're waiting to be the perfect person you think that would be da da da, I don't believe you're going to be that person because there's going to always be something else you need to accomplish to be your dream person. The dream person you need to be is somebody that you're striving to be, that you want to be, that you're going to work to be, in my opinion, not a finished product or where I want to be, because realistically, in my opinion, know that I hope that I'm the perfect man for my wife, not because of necessarily who I am, but who I'm always trying to be. You get what I mean? And I think that's more important than being able to look in the mirror and say, I want to be that. No, I'm always trying to be that person. I don't see it as a finished product to ask my wife to marry me. I'm far from it, but I know that I'm going to continuously try to be a person like that. That's how I see it.
Okay. So I understand what you were saying. I agree with what you were saying at the end. Leading to it, I didn't agree with, because at the end of the day, you knew you were ready. If anybody asked you at that point in time in your life, do you think you are ready? Would you date yourself? Would you marry yourself? At that point, when you asked her to marry you, you knew deep down in your heart, yeah, I'm ready for this. So that's why you did what you did. Now, before being with my girl now, the girl I was with before, I guess on paper, she was dope. Career, smart, all types of stuff. Okay, cool. And then being with her, it was one of those things where I was trying to be that person for her. And even though I knew, okay, this is what she's looking for, I want to be this person. Let me try to live up to this and stack up. And if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. At that point in time, even though I wanted it to happen, so this is me speaking on your being a player, having girls, meeting somebody, like, even if you want to do it, even if the intentions are there, if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. No matter how much you try, it's not going to work, because you're still not fully there, giving yourself 100%, doing what you have to do. So, needless to say, that relationship didn't work out. Not mad that it didn't work out.
Okay.
It is what it is. Now I'm with the mother of my children now. She's a great person, great human being. And at that point, it was, you know what? I know I need to work on myself. I was willing to work on myself. I did work on myself. Because now there was the open dialogue, the conversations. She knows everything about me. I know about her. It was one of those things where we helped each other.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. I know I'm ready for this. And that's why I'm saying, you know what? I agree with what he said.
Okay. No, and what you're saying is right, but my whole point is again, are we talking about just because how he said, would you be the person that you would marry? That's again, that's me knowing how much I love my wife. I would be that person, right? So in my mind, if I put it to that way, like I know how much I love her, so would I be that person? Then yes, I would marry myself because I know how much I love my wife. But if I'm looking at just not being 100%, like, you get what I'm trying to say, where I want to be. Do you get what I'm trying to say, though? I keep saying you get what I'm trying to say. My whole point is when he said, would you be the person? A lot of people, when they make that statement of would you be the person, is like, are you financially stable? Are you da-da-da-da-da? You get what I mean? Is your life in order to bring somebody else into your life?
It
That's
doesn't
what a lot
necessarily
of
have to be
people.
in order. It doesn't. Because a lot of people don't have it all figured out. That's just like the having a baby thing.
Yeah, and that's what my point is.
Yeah, I mean, and sorry, I just want to correct something. I said mother of my children. You said your future wife. Yes, my fiance.
Ooh,
My fiance.
yo,
when
you
me
just
and her,
Trey.
when we made the decision to have a child, it was both of us like, yeah, we're ready. Even though financially we're amazing and we have millions of dollars saved, and No, but
Yeah.
when you're with somebody who you know has your back, you have their back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're ready. We can do this. You don't
Mm.
have to worry about things because you know they got you got them, vice versa.
Yeah.
So, I mean, only when you're with the right person is when you will know if you're ready to be that person for them. That's just
Okay.
my opinion.
And I agree with you. But
Mm,
when you're saying you're willing to be that person for them, I just think it's more of a journey rather than a finished product. And in my opinion, the way he was saying it was more in a finished product way. Like, are you able to be that? Would you be that person? So then you have to make yourself that person rather than before. You know what I mean? And my opinion
see,
is, and that's how I took it, how he phrased it. That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to say. So that's why I'm saying, in my opinion, I'm not saying what he is saying wrong, but I don't think it as a finished product. I see it more as a becoming that person and moving
But
towards that situation rather than, if you can't look at yourself and be the person that you would be with. Because again, if I'm looking other than how much I know I love my wife, would I be that person? I'd be like, you know what, figure your shit out a little more. Come back to me. That's
but
one
see,
thing.
that's the thing. You
Mhm,
took from it a finished product. I
mhm,
took from it is, are you working on yourself? Are you still like,
mhm.
are you willing to not make the sacrifices, but do what you have to do to make it work with this person? Are you
Okay.
willing to make this person happy? Are you willing to do all these things? Are
Mhm.
you even happy in your own skin?
Yeah.
And with all that being said, if you can check yes to all these boxes, then
Mhm.
yeah, okay, cool. You're good to go. You're ready for marriage or relationship, whatever you're ready for. But
Yeah.
if you're still like, you know what, she will be my next baby mother. Yeah. Like already your intentions are not there. You don't want to anything real with her. You just want to hit it and quit it. So this is
Mm.
why it's one of those things where I took as, are you willing to say get rid of all your, I'm not calling nobody no names out, nothing out of their name, but are you ready
You're about to
willing to
call
get
the
rid of
Skittles? You're about to. Oh
are,
snap! Back to the
are you willing
'90s
to get
on
rid
them.
of all your girls,
Mhm.
settle down with this one and make this one happy? And that's what I took from it. So that's why I was
Yeah.
like, I agree with what he was saying, but I mean, it depends on how you take it, right?
Again, it's interpretation. I just felt it as though like I'm just a lot of times I'm not saying Russell Wilson, but a lot of times I find people preach
Derek
about,
Jackson.
huh?
Huh?
What did you just say?
I said Derek Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Preach about like finished product and being that like you know what I mean? And that's my issue because nobody takes pride in the journey. And I think that's the part that bothers me the most. Because like I said, with having a baby, with it's a journey. You have to you know what I mean? In my opinion, it's rare in life where you're 100% ready for something. You know what I mean? But what you're willing to do and where you're willing to go. But at that moment in time, if you're gonna say, I know I'm 100%, it's rare that you know what I mean, that you are, but you're willing to make that journey. And that's why I just took it, maybe I took it more in a literal form of,
Yeah,
will you be that person? And he meant it in the way,
yeah,
I think we're both saying, but I didn't
yeah.
think that it really came across that way.
No,
And
I get
now,
it.
the question you were asking initially, uh,
Well, yeah. So if you told,
excuse me.
or if a girl told you that she's looking for something more than just casual friends with benefits,
Hmm.
and she's telling you she wants a relationship, she wants children, she wants to get married, and you told her that's not what you're down for. At the end of the day, is it your responsibility to say, you know what, because I know this is what she wants, let me cut it off so this way no one gets hurt feelings? Or do you just go along with it because you've already told her this is not what you want, but she's still willing to continue what she's doing despite you telling her you're not looking for anything serious?
All right. So my opinion on it is at the end of the day, you're two grown people, right? Now, if you're completely honest and she's completely honest, at that point, you're both making a decision. You're not respecting each other's wishes, but you're both in this together. So am I saying, would I do that? It would probably depend on how I'm feeling.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna, if you were gonna ask me, I was going to say the same thing, because as much as in my mind I want to say, you know what, because of the person I am and I've grown and so on and so forth, I wouldn't do that because I would respect them, and because I have too much respect for them, I don't want to hurt them, and I'd probably be like, look, I already told her I'm not looking for anything serious. She's still willing to talk to me, so hey, we're just gonna ride this out and see where it goes. I mean, it's not to say nothing could ever happen, because one day I could change my mind and be like, you know what? She's been Cinderella all this time. She's been right under my nose.
It's possible, but no, I don't think so.
I mean, it could happen. It really could.
At most, it would be you settling. It would be you settling at that point.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because that's not what you wanted. That's not what you wanted, and that's why. Okay. But now, after you might have gotten in trouble a couple times. The well has got dry, and you're just like, she's stuck beside me. She's
not
cool.
Necessarily. Like, it could be one of those situations.
She's my girl now.
She's always there for you. She always got your back, and you're just like, all right, cool. Yeah, you know what? She always got my back. But I mean, right now, I'm still trying to live my lifestyle where I just do me, and I. All
right. So the question would be: do you actually care about her, or is it just a hidden thing? Because if you cared about her, then yes, I agree. Like, you could just be stringing her along, but hoping she'll stay there. Who knows? Because that's what happens a lot of times, what people do, because they know they got a solid one. But guys and girls, mind you, so it's not that. But that's what people do a lot of times, because they know they have a solid one. But I'm talking about, you don't want nothing from this person except fun, and they want more from you than just fun. So that's what it is. So there's legit no emotion for you. You get what I mean? Of course, things could always grow. That goes without saying. But you're looking at this person like, this is just fun. Don't get too close. So the thing is, now, with that being said, that the question is, would you do it? And the answer is,
depends on how I feel.
Exactly.
Right.
That's it. That's it. I'm feeling you. Yeah.
So it's not important. It was just something on my mind. So this is one of those segments, those time where I bring up things that I think about at night, things that keep me up at night. Still don't have the name wrinkled out, ironed out, but it's somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
And the question goes as follows. There are concerts. So the artist performs at the concert.
Yeah.
Now, deaf people can attend these concerts.
Yeah.
There is the sign language interpreter at the corner of the stage, signing for those people. Now, my question is, do they know all these artists' songs beforehand? Do they study them? How much do they get paid? Because this seems like a lot to do. And do you think it's just one of those things where if you speak, I just speak after you, so I'm just listening to the words and signing the languages, doing the signs? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
So what do you think?
I don't remember what you said about saying I don't know. Remember that? Now, what do I think about that? I don't know, G. I think that it's that people.
So
okay,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, I've been thinking about this since. I mean, obviously, when WAP came out, there was an interpreter who was doing the signs for that, and she was like, I've never heard the song in its entirety. So I've heard clips, bits, and pieces. And anyways, obviously we know how the song goes. It can get vulgar. And so the sign language interpreter is like reenacting and gaga, like doing all types of stuff. I didn't want to do it. Like, so that's why I just stopped. Like gaga.
Yeah, that was a lot. But no, what I'm trying to say, definitely pause you. But what I was saying is the sign language was doing that, the interpreter.
Yeah, she
I
was like
never seen
doing all
this.
types of stuff, like just, and I was like, okay. So I'm thinking, did you practice the song?
I
Is
never
that
even
really
heard
the
of this.
sign for it? Is it? And it was just a lot of things that I was thinking, and I've
Yeah,
been thinking it since then. And then every time I see like a sign language interpreter at the end of the corner of the stage, like with Big Daddy Kane, where they tried to say, "Oh, you tried to kick the person off stage," but he was
yeah,
like, "You didn't come back and say when I apologized to the person because I didn't know who the person was on stage.
yeah,
Me or my manager didn't know." And so
exactly.
it's one of those things where I just been thinking of it, and I was like, "Do they know the songs? Are they fans? Do they learn the songs?" But anyways, one of those things that keep me up at night. I guess I'll Google it and figure it out. Or if y'all know, please, cousins, let me know. Let us know.
Yeah,
That's all
please
I'm
do.
asking. Please
Please
and
do.
thanks. Um,
I took an
so
awkward turn.
uh,
One man said, Gaga.
I was really trying not to do it because I was like, there's no way I can do it and it's gonna look good. And yeah,
Pause.
I
It did look
said
good
it.
as somebody.
So, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for Tales on the Internet. 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 All right. So this one is kind of whatever. So it goes. Met this guy at the gas station when he asked to pump my gas. We started chatting and he actually piqued my interest. After he pumped my gas, he asked me for my digits. I gave it to him. He said he would hit me up later to get to know me better. He texted me so I could save his number. He then went into the gas station to pay for his gas. I get into my Range Rover and started up. Something told me to watch his car, or watch the car he goes to. This man got into an old rusty ass Dodge Neon, and then laughing emojis. Blocked him in seconds. Definitely not on my level. Shake my effing head. If he drives an old ass car from decades ago, that's a red flag. What do you feel about that situation?
She's an idiot. I feel she's an idiot. I think that she's an idiot. I think that she's a red flag, personally. Again, you don't know. The whole point is material is such, like, I don't even know where to start, but looking at what he drives is going to determine how he can make you happy or how you guys could build each other up. Makes no sense, bro. It definitely hearing this, and I'm assuming, again, not even assuming, I'm hoping that these are just posts that people think of to write, and they're not really living like this. Because if that is where your mind is at, like a dude, he piqued your interest, he was courteous to you, he what you call it, filled up your gas for you, did you know what I mean? Held it down like a man should do, and you're looking at his car and said he's not on your level, like, bro, you're not on his level, man. He needs to be doing that to somebody that's gonna appreciate it and understand what he's doing for her. So no, I definitely don't respect it. Yeah. How about you? How you feel about it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And that's like Jeff Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
When he obviously, this is the beginning of Amazon, he was a multi-millionaire and he was driving a Honda Accord.
Mm-hmm.
And then they asked him, "Well, why are you driving?" He's like, "Well, it gets me from point A to point B." And that's exactly it. You don't know his bank account.
Yeah.
If you're saying this man piqued your interest, he was courteous, you guys chatted up, and you liked what you heard, why are you worried about the car he drives? At this point, it's one of those things where a lot of the time, and I'm not saying this is as fact, but women will meet men and they try to mold them, but men are
Mm-hmm.
already who they are, and it is what it is. If you met somebody who was doing all these things for you, it's just they weren't on your level, and you don't know if they weren't on your level or not just
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't driving a flashy car. Once again, it gets him from point A to point B. He doesn't need anything flashy. He just needs to get where he needs to get. You don't know if he has millions, or even if he's just, he has whatever he has and he's content with it. You being who you are, that hustler mentality person, you could take him in, teach him the ways, and then you guys could be like this power couple. You understand what I'm saying? But instead, you look at it as, well, no, he's not on my level because he's not. But then you're gonna go for, I guess, someone who is on your quote unquote level. And you know what? I'm not even gonna start speaking stereotypes because it's not fact.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I
but
feel you.
nah,
Go ahead. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's not about what he has in his account. I know that's not what you were saying, but I'm just saying, even if he has millions, even if he has $20, that's not the point. He didn't come up to you and say, "Hey, I have $1 million," and then drive off in that car. I'd be like, no, he's trying to play you. Whether he has millions or not, you just feel like somebody too much. Fine, but no, it wasn't about money. He came to you, spoke to you, trying to get to know you, treating you nice, and you brought it on a financial level and saying he's not on your level. It's disgusting. That's it.
Yep.
It's disgusting, yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree. Chicago mom recognizes her son on the news, who is a train robbery suspect, and drag him to the police station. He's been charged with armed robbery. Oh my gosh, armed robbery, only getting away with $100. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were watching the news and you saw one of your children doing something stupid, would you bring them to the police station and turn them in, or would you reprimand them? What would you do?
How cool am I with my kids? Am I cool
Exactly
with
how you
them
are
like
right
I
now.
am now? And I saw them on the news. Like, I love my kids. And I ain't no snitch. But what what I would do, honestly, just because, like, and the face is point blank on news. Do you
Well,
get
yeah,
what I mean?
you
Is it a
know it's your
clear?
child. You know it's your child. I mean, even if they're wearing the face mask, you know it's your child.
I ain't bringing them. I ain't bringing them. If his face was point blank, though, like point blank, I think his. But if their face, God forbid, knock on wood, was point blank, then I would bring them, but with a lawyer, like already paid lawyer, everything set. Like, we're gonna go in, try to figure it out. You know what I mean? But if the face ain't point blank, bro, you gonna have to figure it out. You gonna have to find them, bro, or find them. Like, no, we gonna figure it out. How about you?
Okay, hold on. But would you talk to the kid? What would you do? Like?
Oh,
Talk to the kid.
definitely. I
Your
listen.
kids.
Ace whoopings are happening. Ace whoopings are happening. Like, I'm whooping. I'm taking that $100. Dude. Like, it would be just the worst mistake you made. But actually bringing you where I don't even trust the judicial system like that. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like, that they could actually have some sort of, sympathy on a situation. I couldn't put it in their hands. But again, though, like I said, the only reason I would is if I felt like if they catch him on the street, they might think that he's armed and
Yeah.
dangerous. That's why I would be like, yo, you know what I mean? Better off we handle it this way, boom, 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 rather than that's why I said if the face is clear. If it ain't clear,
Yeah.
bruh, it could be anybody. Yo, we gonna figure it out. How about
No,
you?
I guess I agree with you. I do
Mm,
agree. I personally would not take my kids to the police station.
mm,
No, because like you said, I don't trust the courts. I don't trust
yeah.
them being fair. I don't trust any of that stuff. Now, if my child is doing something so stupid,
Mm,
so blatantly stupid, I mean, definitely we're gonna have to have some type of conversation,
yeah, with the hands.
um, man to man.
Mm,
But I mean, yeah, no,
yeah.
no, I
Even
wouldn't.
if it was a clear picture, like I said, if it was a clear picture,
Well, no, okay, obviously, if it was a clear picture and they're like,
okay.
okay, we're coming to look for it. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like,
yeah, it has to be like,
yeah,
okay, you know, you're going to have to turn yourself in. They
yeah,
can see, I see you. They can all see
exactly.
you. So if they catch
Exactly.
you on the street, it's a wrap. And I mean,
Exactly.
it brings us back to the conversation that we've been having with our kids. We have
Mm,
to have with our kids.
yeah.
Take your hands in your pocket. Don't wear your hood.
Mm,
We're gonna see this and be like, okay, this, I'm not condoning what you did, but this is
yeah.
obviously one of the biggest mistakes you've made in your life.
Yeah.
We're human. We all will make mistakes, but this
Yeah.
can get you hurt real bad. So you need to turn yourself in
Yeah.
because it will be a lot worse than it is. We will figure this out.
Mhm.
When everything is said and done, we are going to figure out this payment plan for this lawyer because I ain't paying for it for you
Big
to be
fact.
doing stupidity. Nah, you
Yeah.
paying for your lawyer. But
But
that's neither here nor there.
like Dirk and them said, you gotta pay back in blood, yo. Whoopings every day until I get my money back.
Yo, speaking of payback and all that stuff, I seen a post the other day. Can't remember who it was. He was talking about a Raider, a football player, where the day of his signing, his mother gave him a bill of $1 million and said that was the cost of him raising her.
Of her
Now I
raising
seen
him.
the post. Pardon?
Of her raising him.
Yeah. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about it? Do you agree with it? Disagree with it? What are your thoughts on it?
Okay. All right. I'll put it this way, right? Because me, I'm a mama's boy, right? So nothing my mom could ever do to me would be wrong. And I know that if she gave me something like that, I know she would be playing. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, and if I had it, I would give it. I'd be like, yo, you deserve all of this. And even if she gave me a note like that, but that's with the relationship I have. I don't know their relationship, especially for that to be a talking point. So I'm assuming it's a damaged relationship if you really took it personal, like she actually gave me this and da da da. Because me, I'd be laughing my head. I just sighed and be like, yo, you know me. I'd be like, yo, you play too much. And I'd still give $1 million. But so what do I think? I think it's if they have a messed up relationship and she did that, I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong. You should never try to take someone's joy away. Especially in a big moment like that. You're raising your kid so they could be the best they could be, not so that you could reap benefits from it.
Yeah.
So I think that at the end of the day, it would be wrong. That's it. If she's wrong, he definitely how I am with family. Regardless, you still would take care of him. So even if it hurt him or not, I think he would be wrong if he after that he stopped talking to her and he never gave her anything. I still would say he's wrong for that because I believe that regardless that's your mama, you should take care of her. But she was wrong for doing that if their relationship is not like that.
Yeah.
No? How about you?
Me personally, if I got it with the relationship I have with my mother, I laugh. I say she's an idiot, and I'd write her the check for $1 million and be like, "Here you go. I paid up. You can't never say I never paid up on my debts owed." And
Exactly.
that would be our running joke. Ha ha ha. But if, like you said, if it was a severed relationship, we didn't have it, and it was what it was. I mean, I guess we spoke because you're my mother, I'm your son, and it was what it was. And you sent me that bill and really expect me to pay it. I am the type of person, if I was making several million, I'd give them $1 million. But from that day, me giving you this check, I will say, because I paid what I owed, you cannot ask me for anything else.
I agree.
Now, if you didn't ask me for this, you could have been reaping benefits for the rest of everybody's lives.
Exactly.
There would be nothing you would have to ask me for because you would hands down get it. I'd buy you a house, I'd buy you a car, it would surpass the $1 million that you said I owe you.
Yeah.
But if you were serious and this is what you wanted, here's your $1 million, but don't ask me for anything else.
Yeah.
And you already know how West Indian people are. Oh, well, brother Ricky's son's father's mother's cousin's son needs a fingernail replacement. They need $50. Can you send it? I don't got it. I already paid you everything I owe, so you can use that money if you want to give it to them. But I'm not going to give it to them, and that's what it would be. I'd be like, nope, I don't got it. But yeah, I mean, if she was joking, yes.
Yeah.
If she wasn't joking, Nah.
No, I agree. But I would still, like I said, joking or not joking, I would still give something. But like you
Mhm.
said, I would give, if I had several millions, I would still give that boom boom of the million. And like you said, maybe cut off or something. You get what I mean? But I just could not give regardless from
Exactly.
the person that brought me in the world. That's just me, even though.
Mm.
Like,
Oh, there was the ex teacher who got 41 years in prison for handing out
streaming?
cupcakes at least twice. There's that. Um,
What was wrong with her? And where
there,
did she get it from? Did
her
you have,
husband, her ex-husband.
did her husband know what she was doing?
I have no idea, but he was a
I
police
haven't
officer.
heard. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't hear. I didn't even know the details to that.
yeah. Her husband or ex-husband was a police officer. She
And how did she get it from him? Oh, this
fed
was
them cupcakes, not cupcakes, cupcakes.
that's horrible. Wait, and they were high school students, right?
Yeah,
Okay, because it gets even more. It's like if you say it like so, that's why, and it's not okay. I would still
yeah,
like it's not, but it's just I was just like I didn't honestly I couldn't read the details to it because it got me
yeah.
so upset and disgusted. You know what I mean? You're feeding it to kids. Like, what's wrong with you? They're feeding it to anybody, mind you. But it's
Exactly.
like, what kind of twisted mind would give that to kids, though? You know what I mean?
And you want to know what? She was probably one of those teachers
Mm-hmm.
that the kids ran like they treated her like ish, and she
Yeah.
was not a favorite teacher. And she was like, you know what? I've had enough. I've had a bad day, and you know what, honey? Thank you. I'm gonna go make cakes. He's like, what?
All right, again. I'm hungry.
He's like, okay, do whatever you're gonna do, babe. I'm going to bed. Oh, good night.
Make some tacos. Make some tacos.
Be love. Let it be
No, no,
love, Bob.
no, no. Ciara and Godfrey got some beef going on now. What happens is in Atlanta, Godfrey had a show where he's headlining, right? So as we all know, headliner generally means you're going on last, ending the show out. Without unbeknownst to Godfrey, Ti is in the crowd watching, whatnot, and then the promoter comes up to Godfrey after and was like, "Hey, Ti is here. He wants to." After Godfrey finishes his performance, he
Hmm.
comes up to Godfrey. He's like, "Yo, Ti is here. He wants to know if he could get on stage." And then Godfrey's like, "What, to like rap perform?" Because he didn't know that he was doing comedy. Then he's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, to do comedy." And he's like, "Okay, whatever. Let him do it." Now, so then Ti comes, does his thing, whatever. Godfrey goes to the back, to wherever he's doing, lives his best life in the back. Then he's on podcast, who is another comedian,
Yeah.
and he's telling here the story on, how he's supposed to be the closer and you know what I mean, of the show. And then Ti came and I don't know. Basically, I don't know. He said he didn't have no real hard feelings about it. It's just it to me it sounded it in its own way. I'll give you my opinion after. So and then Ti, pretty much speaks back to him and just like, yo, you know what I mean? I never said I was a comedian. I'm an entertainer and no hate type of thing. And it's been a little bit of a back and forth going on between them. How you feel about it?
So to be fair, when I heard about it, I mean, to be the headliner,
Hmm.
that's a big deal for comedians.
Yeah,
It's something that they've worked at their craft to then, I guess, reap those benefits of being the headliner.
yeah,
So being the last man to shut down the show. So it is what
yeah,
it is. But at the end of the day, okay, they're in Ti's
yeah.
town,
Backyard,
city, state.
hometown. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Did Godfrey get paid what he was supposed to get paid? Because
Yeah,
if so, who cares?
yeah,
I mean, you got paid what you were supposed to get paid. Okay, because you didn't close the show, it still shouldn't make a difference. I mean, I understand it's the respect. This is what you worked all these years to accomplish, but At the end of the day, it wasn't them trying to be facetious, rude, disrespectful. They saw him, like you said, they were in his backyard, so they're like, "Hey, he wants to step on the stage. Do you mind?"
Yeah.
They even asked him if he minded, and he said no. So you got paid. It is what it is, but I mean, I don't think he should have felt a way about it.
Mm.
I mean, if they didn't say anything to him and they just brought Tiara on the stage, then that's another thing for you to be upset about. To say, "Hey, what's going on here?" But I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, you still got paid
Yeah.
what you were supposed to get paid. So that's how I feel about it. There's no need to be upset about it. There's room for everybody. You got paid. Ti did it for free, I'm assuming, because he wasn't on the bill. He asked if he could do it. So it is what it is. You, how do you feel about it?
I think Godfrey was wrong, man. I think he handled it all wrong. I think he was in the wrong for it. For the reasons, pretty much what you said. At the end of the day, I fully understand and I fully agree. Comedy is not like anything else. It's its own thing. Like you said, you work hard to be the headliner. You know what I mean? You take that very, very deep. Like, plus, you take that very, what's the right word?
Seriously.
Serious. What can I say? You take that very seriously. So I fully get that. But at the end of the day, you were asked, do you mind if? And you have the right to say no if you want to say no. You chose to say okay. Now, you're the vet in the game. Ti is new. He's coming up. He wants to get into this comedy business. You've been in the business for about 20 something years. Now, if you had a problem, for one, you could have said no. For two, you could have spoke to him and be like, listen, there's certain things in this comedy game you don't do, which is disrespectful. If you're a headliner, boom, boom, school him. Let him know where he's messing up. You know what I mean? That's what you can do because you know what you're talking about. Not in a disrespectful way, not in a stunning way, but just let him know. It's like, yo, I don't have a problem with you. It's just that in comedy, this is it. If you close out the show, you close out the show. You don't let nobody come on after you. Let him know, make him understand the rules to the game. So he missed a golden opportunity to teach him something, but no, what he chose to do was go on a podcast. And he said nothing wrong, but I watched it and it was shade. That's what it was. He didn't directly dog him, but he dogged him. You get what I mean? He pretty much was saying, like, he went and, people just want to be comedians now. Everyone's trying to do their thing and like just downplaying what this man is trying to do. You know what I mean? So he had plausible deniability where it's just like, no, I didn't say nothing wrong, but you know what you were saying and you know how you were treating the situation. I thought it was a sucker move. I could see, and don't get me wrong, I could see his frustration with it. But your frustration should be with you for not handling it the way you know you should have handled it. At the end of the day, the ball was in your court. You chose to walk away. Now you can't be upset when he did his 15 minutes and tell the whole world that, he's becoming a comedian now and this is what happened to me. No, I found that was lame. I thought it was, backbiting and some hater stuff, to be honest. That's all I thought.
So my question is, if he said, you know what, I don't want him to go on after me. I've already closed out the show. It is what it is. And even if he did talk to Ti, do you think that would have caused beef between him and Ti? Because Ti, even though maybe he might have been understanding, maybe he might not have been understanding. Maybe he would have took it as, yo, this is my hometown. You are going to tell me what I can and can't do, and this disrespectful. And now they have beef because of just him wanting to do some stand-up comedy. Do you think that's where it could have gone? So in his mind, it was like, you know what, go for it. But after he thought about it,
but that says more about you, right? Like if you're gonna let someone do something that's gonna bother you, and not just swallow it, because that's part, but that's the whole point. If you're gonna let someone do something, you take that L, but don't run away and then, you know what I mean, talk your trash now. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. Like if you had a problem, say you had a problem, stand on it like a man. If you don't have a problem, let it go, but don't say something's okay and then come back and try to again mock what I'm doing. He had plausible deniability. He didn't directly say, T.I.'s not funny. He didn't directly, you know what I mean? He didn't go that route, but you know what you were doing and what you were insinuating, that it takes a lot to be this good, and people just think they could jump into it. And you know what I mean? Try to downplay what another man is doing. That was weak. But I think if he would have said it, maybe T.I. would have gotten that. Maybe they would have gotten beef. But at the end of the day, that would be on T.I. This is his show. You came to his show. He has the right to close it out the way he wants to close it out. That's why I said, of course, just saying no, anyone would get offended not knowing why. Just like, bro, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if they have a okay relationship. I don't know their relationship, but if I'm cool with somebody and I was like, yo, you mind? Or someone asked and you just like, no, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
But if you handled it in a courteous way, it's like, bro, that's not what we do in comedy. Like, you're starting out, don't worry, I'll let you know. But or next show I have, you could open up for me, or you could talk to somebody. But just be like, bro, say okay, and then now you wait until you're on a large platform to dog what somebody else is trying to do. I didn't think was cool at all.
No, I get it.
This is CuzTheInternet podcast. You can follow us on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Or CuzTheInternet at gmail.com.
Once again, I'm your host, Trey.
And I'm your Jose. And remember, if it's on the internet, we may talk about it.
Hey, yo. Ah.